Yeah, we're live. Yes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session of Beyond Code, where we uncover the challenges that a tech entrepreneur faces while scaling their careers. Today we have with us Krunal Shah, who's the CTO of Third Rock Techno and Trek. Welcome, Krunal.
Hey, hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Right. So, Krunal, where are you right now? Where are you joining us from?
So I'm joining from Ahmedabad.
That's great. And how's the weather there?
So today it's a little bit sunny, but it
Mhm.
was a little bit rainy last week.
Yeah, I'm joining from Pune, so tell me about rains. It's really bad.
Yeah,
It's nice when the sun comes out.
yeah,
So
definitely.
we start off pretty simple. How did you develop an interest in computers and just getting into, technology?
So you have been seeing a lot of technology advancement here and there, right? So when I was in college, the many people were working on different interesting areas, and those kind of things was very interesting. I was very curious that how the people are creating a lot of interesting stuff, and that's why I thought it would be great if I can do something in that area. So that's how I was more little bit interested to join the computer side.
Right. And how did you go about landing your first job? How were the interview processes back then? And how did you get through to, really landing that job?
So basically, that was a similar journey that everyone else going through. I have been interviewing on the multiple places. I was passed down in 2009, so there was a little bit of recession. It was difficult to get the job, but after that, I had given an interview at the multiple places, and
Hmm.
somehow I got the internship at the one company that is called Completech. And
All right.
after the completing of the internship, I joined there.
All right. So, message for everyone right now, since the market condition is bad, you have to keep trying, you have to keep applying, and you'll get that job. Uh, so, how did you transition your job from Ahmedabad to the most developed country, USA, as a developer early in your career?
Yeah. So basically, I've been working on the different places. I started my career from Ahmedabad. After that, I shifted to Pune. I worked there 3 years in Pune. Right after that, I shifted to USA. And in those careers, I think that I learned a lot of things because when we are moving outside from the home, right, there are a lot of challenges that we have to come on because it's not only a job, but there are other things that also we have to consider.
Mhm.
So yes, I was working at Pune. I decided to move to the US. I was looking for a job in US, and I asked my the that time employer Vishwa that sir, is it an opportunity possible in US? And he
Mhm.
was ready to offer a work from home at that time.
All right.
So so that's how I landed a job in US.
Mhm.
And after that, I shifted many different cities in US.
Mhm.
So that's how in my career I have worked in the different cities in Pune, Ahmedabad, Florida, Chicago, San Francisco. But I would suggest everyone that yeah, it is always a better if we can get a chance, we should explore.
Right. And it's great that you mention how important it is to get out of home, not just because of the challenges you face at work, but also because in overall, life skills that it takes to really move out and live on your own. So, what are the challenges you faced in terms of, your workplace, in terms of culture and the technologies, different areas, different technologies being used?
Yeah, so basically, if you talk about culture first, right, the culture is totally different. In India, right, we are moving from one state to another state. The culture is very
Definitely.
different. So when we are talking about the United States or somewhere else, the culture is totally different. The culture, the religious, the foods, and everything.
Mhm.
If we are in India, we are talking about politics and cricket or something else. In US, people might be discussing about baseball and football and all. So all the interest areas are different, but when we go somewhere else, we get to know a lot of new things, and those are the journey that we evolve gradually. But that is interesting. In case of when we talk about technology, right? In India also we have lot of tech companies are there. But when we go
Mhm.
to the different cities like in San Francisco, San Jose, or Florida, right? they are working some of the advanced tech they have been using, and they are little bit early adopters, right? So the
Right.
people are coming to the SF or a San Jose from the different parts of the world. So
Mhm.
definitely when we connect with them, we get to know that okay, they are working on a lot of interesting stuff. So it definitely like it's a the very interesting journey, learning whatever we can say in terms of culture
Yes.
or food or
Mhm.
technology.
Right. And what's your take on working with teams based in the States? So what's something that sets them apart from, what a developer's expectation would be working in a team in India?
So sometimes it is like it depends. When we talk about states or India, I don't see the real difference. The real
Mhm.
differences depend from the company to company. So if I say one
Right.
company is doing a working totally different way, another company is working totally different way. So it is
Mhm.
more kind of a culture that the company has created. So sometimes
Right.
when we work in the enterprise, they have different teams for all the expertise. They are, the core team players are there.
Mhm.
When we are working at a startups, the one man is, handling multiple tasks.
Yes.
So, and that is happening all over the world. It is not specific to the states, but in
Mhm.
India also that is the same thing. Yeah, little bit of working style is little bit different. People are, sometimes in US are very, you know, focused, but
Right.
that is also, the depend on the probability of the people that okay, sometimes the more focused people are there or here, but
Mhm.
it's all about the culture of the company, and I don't see there are many companies in India are doing the same.
Right. So, would you recommend, an Indian developer to seek that job in the States?
Yeah, definitely. I would suggest each and everyone. It's not about like states or anywhere. Yeah, definitely. If you get a
Mhm.
chance to work in states,
Mhm.
definitely you should try it because when we are working with the the like-minded people, the thought
Right.
process is getting changed. Because when we are in the company with someone, right,
Mhm.
it is very important that how their thought process is, right, because our if we are mingling with the people, let's say in states, we have a friends in states, right, if they are working at Google, AWS, Amazon, or let's say
Mhm.
Apple, right, their thought process is little different. They're
Right.
looking at the problem, the way of looking at the problem is different. So definitely
Mhm.
if we get an opportunity, definitely we should try.
Right. And you mentioned earlier, an enterprise setting which has, clear segregation of roles, whereas compared to a startup wherein, you have to be ownership driven and, wear multiple hats. What do you prefer personally as, when you were a developer, what did you prefer? That segregated role, clear cutout role, or an ownership driven team?
So I would suggest, because I prefer startup role. The reason being, what is your goal in your career, right? I always
Right.
wanted to start my business, so it was
Mhm.
always necessary when I worked in the startup. I only don't want to learn the technology and the
Right.
tools, but I also want to explore that how the marketing work at startups, how the
Mhm.
customer support is working, how the sales they are driving, right? What are
Right.
the numbers they are following? So
Mhm.
those kind of things I wanted to learn. So if someone want to start their own business or their startups in the next couple of years, I would
Mhm.
suggest to work for a startups and don't limit yourself.
Right. And what kind of, mindset does one approach an enterprise team? And what kind of mindset do you have to enter working as a fresher probably who's entering into an enterprise level team?
Sorry, can you repeat your question? I
So
didn't.
as you said, you have to be ownership driven in a startup. What kind of mindset should you have, going into an enterprise company and, working with a team where you have cut out roles? What kind of mindset should a developer have there?
So basically, see, there is. I would suggest like there are two kind of people, right? Some people does not want to start their business, and some wants to
Hmm.
grow their career gradually and settle
Right.
down. So in that case, definitely enterprise companies are great to start with. If your goal is clear that okay, definitely we can start a startup after working at enterprise, but over there your focus is you will be the expert. and handling the one part. So when you start your startup, definitely you might have a network, but you
Right.
might not know the little bit many things about the customer support or sales or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it is more kind of a journey that which the the developer wants to go through.
And become a specialist in the craft.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So you moved from a senior software engineer to a team lead. How was that journey, and what kind of, growth from your end did it take to make that, jump from a senior software engineer to a team lead where you were managing people?
So when I say, the important part, when we are as a, the senior software developer, we do the coding and all, right? But when we want to, look for the better opportunity as a team lead or a tech lead, the important part is, we have to take a lot of extra initiatives. We
Hmm.
have to coach our juniors. We have to create a mindset. We need to change the attitude, because those are
Right.
the things are very important. That
Hmm.
because the people will start expecting a lot of things, that you have to handle this many peoples, as well as you have to deliver the task that on your plate. You
Yes.
have to coach them. So it's a little bit of more kind of a when someone wants to go and achieve a technical lead or something, they might have to look
Hmm.
for the, like, they are ready for the the mindset that okay, they might have to work little bit extra, they might have to spend little bit more time with their colleagues. So
Hmm.
that kind of more kind of attitude they need to improve.
And what were the challenges that you faced while managing in the beginning when you started off?
So challenging, there are many challenges that we face, right? If I talk
Hmm.
about the technicality, I have a technical background, so it was not that difficult to handle on the technical side. But
Hmm.
if you talk about, when I started a startup or a career, I don't know. You are asking me the questions regarding that I started my startup or I started my career as a technical.
So I'm asking you for a technical lead.
Yeah,
So
okay. So
specifically,
technical
when you
lead, the
started
major,
technical lead. Mhm.
yeah. So in case of the technical lead, the major challenges are how you have decided your team, right? So let's say when you
Right.
are hiring any new member in your team, make sure how good they are at the problem solving, because we
Right.
can learn tools, technologies to any
Mhm.
people, but if they are not good at the problem solving, it is very difficult to work with them. So
Yeah.
whenever if anyone hiring or working with any team members, make sure they have a problem solving skills are very important part.
Right. Um, so as you moved ahead and you were the tech lead at Mango Apps, what were the major projects that you led there?
So when I was working at Mango Apps, right, I
Mhm.
worked on many different modules and projects. Over there, like there was a one big file modules that we were developing. There was a wiki
Mhm.
module we were building. So
Mhm.
the where people can write a post, they can upload their files and all that.
Yes.
In my career, I learned a lot of things at Mango Apps, because
Mhm.
I worked there maybe around 4 to 5 years,
Right.
and I I learned a lot of things in terms of the importance of the coding, how clean code we should write,
Mhm.
how iterative we should be, because as a tech guy, sometimes we want to write a better code, but it is
Mhm.
very important the deliverables are also. So we need to
Right.
make sure that okay, we need to achieve the deliverables.
Mhm.
I also got to know how the pricing should be, what kind of different models we can provide to our customers. So
Mhm.
those are a lot of things I learned at Mango Labs.
Right. And how did that contribute to you being, a CTO? And how do the learnings translate to this stage of your life?
Yeah, so basically still, many times, I see, I can connect that, if I have to take any decisions, right? Those
Mhm.
decisions usually we take that whatever we have learned from the past. So
Right.
currently also, I see that, sometimes I suggest that, okay, if we are having a one specific client, having a large data, we define the architecture and all that. So all those
Mhm.
learning that I have got from working at Mango Apps, that sometimes we are having a bigger clients, sometimes that can cause the scaling issues. So
Mhm.
those issues that we have faced, I know that okay, I don't need to repeat those things.
Right. Uh, So coming to talking about you being a CTO, what motivated you to start your own company? Was that something you had, when you started off, as you said before, that if you have an aspiration to run your own business, you work in a startup. So is that something you always wanted? And, as you were in a job, it's often said that being in a steady job and taking that leap of faith and starting your own company, that is a big thing. So what motivated you to, really take that leap of faith?
Yeah. So when we started a company, right? The
Hmm.
intention was like I wanted to create a different kind of interesting tools and
Hmm.
explore a lot of new technologies.
Right.
And initial thought, when we started, we wanted to work with the different clients on the different projects,
Hmm.
explore different interesting areas of the domains.
Right.
But gradually, we also learn, right, that okay, the technology is also not enough and sufficient, because there are also major part when we are starting a business. So
Hmm.
whenever any new technique tech guy start a business, they might miss the things on the marketing, sales, account, because there are a lot
Hmm.
of stuff.
Right.
But in my case, yes, I was very passionate about and uh, about the things, and wanted to work on the different products. So that was the
Right.
thought to start on my own.
And as you started your journey, what were, the challenges you faced that you didn't see coming?
There are many. We made a lot of
Mhm.
mistakes. So definitely, uh, as I
What do you think is a
mentioned,
common
so
mistake that people make and that you made also that you'd like to, tell our audience that that's something they should steer away from?
yeah. So basically, it is the mistakes. Those mistakes are not on the tech side. The
Hmm.
mistakes are on the business side, right? So
Right.
basically, as a tech guy, right, I don't know that how
Hmm.
to manage the finance or a account, right?
Hmm.
Uh, so uh, we don't know how to manage the finance and accounts. So sometimes, we don't look at the numbers on a daily basis. And so
Hmm.
those things, sometimes what happens that, okay, we are doing a lot of expenses and we are
Right.
not aware about that, okay, we are not making that many revenue. So
Hmm.
after end of the year, when we do the, the account and all, we get to know that, okay, we have messed up.
Right.
So those are the, I have seen that many people who started the company don't follow the number, that make those kind of mistakes. So if someone is
Hmm.
starting a company, I would ask them, okay, it is possible, and it is always better to focus on the numbers so you are aware that okay, on which direction you guys are going.
Right. So projecting your numbers in advance so that you know what if you're going wrong, if you have to track your, error. So you need to have the numbers to back it up.
Correct.
So being a co-founder and a CTO, having to take care of things like product pricing, customer base, marketing, customer support. So how do you manage your time, daily on a day-to-day basis and make sure that no area goes untouched?
So definitely, like I am also learning on that side. Definitely, sometimes
Hmm.
things happen that I was focusing on one thing, someone come and ask me something, and I got distracted. So,
Right.
but I try to divide the things that okay, in the morning I take the stand ups, in the evening I take a call with the clients and do the demos and
Hmm.
all, right? So
Right.
those like that's the how like I try to plan my day, but
Hmm.
I also note down the things that I need to do it or complete in a day or a week, right?
Yeah.
So I don't miss it.
Mhm.
But I'm also learning on that, but I'm not good at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's never something that one can perfect. You can set deadlines for yourself, but a deadline wouldn't be good if you didn't miss it. I mean, that's when you're setting targets for yourself. That's the
Yeah,
real targets. When you miss your targets, you know that you set a good target for yourself.
correct.
Uh, so so given that you've been a CTO for a long time, a tech leader, what according to you are the mistakes people usually make while being, tech leaders?
I have seen that the when people are tech lead or a CTO, they more focus on a code, they more
Hmm.
focus on a features. But I would suggest to a co-founder or someone, the important part is the deliverables, because
Right.
sometimes as a tech guy, we want to write a better code, we want to write a clean code, we focus more on the
Hmm.
architecture and all. But at the end, if we are not delivering it to the end user on time,
Right.
That is a very big mistake. And
Hmm.
so it is, I have learned that the software should be iterative. So we should release something, get a feedback, improve it, and release. And
Hmm.
so because I've been doing the same mistake, trying to create and clear, write a better code, but that
Hmm.
creates a lot of the issues in terms of the
Right.
deliverables. And then the product is important than the code.
Okay. Interesting. So you're saying a more broader perspective, perhaps.
So sorry.
A more broader perspective is something that's needed at that position.
Correct. Because
Hmm.
if we narrow down and focus only on the tech side, it's not a good idea.
Right. Uh, so coming to your current project, which is Trek. So would
Yes.
love to know what Trek is about from you and what are you solving?
So Track is a tool that is for everyone who are spending a lot of money
Hmm.
on the SEO, PPC, digital marketing, and they are bringing a lot of traffic to their website.
Right.
And if they are bringing a lot of traffic to their website, definitely they want a conversion. And we
Hmm.
have created a track that helps to generate more sales.
Right.
So we have created the track is a sales and marketing tool that helps to generate more leads.
All right.
Correct. And so basically, let's say if you are bringing a lot of traffic, a lot of visitors to track, right?
Hmm.
We want to observe the behavior
Hmm.
of the user. We want to observe their pattern. We want to see they are clicking on the correct buttons or not.
Right.
They are going to through the funnel or not. Because
Hmm.
when we are writing or creating a website, right?
Hmm.
We as a owner, we think about how the user should flow on the website. But if that
All
funnel
right.
is not working, we need to improve it. So those
Right.
kind of analytics and analysis of the the user behavior we can do with the track.
Hmm. And how, what are the metrics of the impact of Trek? Something that you might have measured at your clients.
So basically, let's say like if you are having thousand users on the website, right? And if your
Right.
conversion rate is 2%, right? And
Hmm.
with the help of track, right? If you are using track, you can simply achieve or double the conversion rate 4%.
All
So
right.
yeah, so basically that's how you can improve your conversion rate and the sales
Hmm.
with the track.
Right. And would you say your knowledge that you've gained about sales and marketing and, understanding clients led to you, building this project?
Yes, definitely. So basically,
Hmm.
when so basically, I'm also running a IT consulting company, right? You're
Yes.
spending a lot of money on SEO, PPC, and all that, and we
Right.
were bringing a lot of traffic, right? And that's
Hmm.
how I thought about, there are tools are available, but not the single tool available where I can connect the journey of the end-to-end user flow.
Right.
So on the side of the technical part, I am also handling the marketing. So I learned technical marketing as well as we are taking a lot of calls with the client.
Hmm.
When we are taking calls with the clients, we also get to know a lot of things from the different because the behavior of the each client is different.
Right.
Some clients wants to move slow, some clients
Hmm.
wants the perfection, some client wants to move fast, they want the
Yes.
iterative, right? So depending on their behavior, we have to change ourselves.
Right. Like Trek helps you do. I mean, that's what Trek
Yes.
is helping, and then you have to adjust as well. Nice. So what were the challenges you faced while building your team from scratch at Trek?
So basically, the major challenge that I was facing as having a technical background, I was clear that the technical side, what kind of people I need.
Hmm.
Uh, but we are facing the challenge on the sales and marketing side because that is a major area that the track impacts. So we are
Right.
figuring out, that was a challenge that okay, what kind of sales guy we need, right? What kind of
Hmm.
questions we should ask that guy that we can get a
Yes.
clarity that okay, he's having enough experience in the SaaS enterprise or SaaS
Hmm.
products or not.
Right.
So those kind of challenges that we have faced
Hmm.
when building the marketing and sales.
All right. So, what is your strategy when it comes to hiring? Like, how do you go about identifying the right candidate for you?
So, I always look for the, two, three things when I hire any candidate. I
Mhm.
look for the problem solving, how good they are at. The
Right.
another thing that I look for the, the attitude that,
Mhm.
how is their positive attitude,
Yes.
how they are approached to the problem. So those
Right.
are the things, and, the honesty
Mhm.
that, those are the things that I look for. And usually I have seen that, if people are having that kind of a quality, it usually works for me.
Right. Any particular reason why a lot of people talk about technical acumen and how good they are with, the current up-to-date technologies. So, what's your view on that? Do you think that is something that a person, that habit of, keeping up to date with technologies and being, you know, knowledgeable
It,
about those things, is that something
it,
that
it
you
is
believe?
it is
Hmm, please
Yeah,
go
it
on.
is always better, right? To if you are
Mhm.
aware about the latest tools and technology, I prefer that people,
Right.
you know, read a lot of stuff on the Twitter that because
Hmm.
people are talking a lot of things regarding the technology and all over there.
Hmm.
But at the time of the selection, I don't look only at the they are aware about the latest technology because the technologies are constantly changing on a
Right.
day-to-day basis.
Yes.
So that is why but I check that their adaptability with the new technology. If they are
Right.
working current technology, but in
Hmm.
case if something new comes up tomorrow, how flexible they are,
Yes.
and so that is more important for me in my case.
Mhm. All right. Uh, so when it comes to making critical decisions in terms of technical choices and product development, what kind of mental approach do you take as the CTO of the company?
So let's say whenever I would say whenever we are studying any new product, I
Mhm.
always, in case of the technological decision, what I think about, I always check for the ecosystem of the tools and technology. The
Right.
ecosystem is mature or not. I
Mhm.
do not go with the latest technology where the ecosystem is not mature. That
Right.
is the first part I always check. The second part,
Mhm.
I will check that, the team that I have, how proficient they are with their technologies.
All right.
Yes. So let's say, because we start with something new technology, and if people are not
Mhm.
proficient in that technology, then the development time will increase, and nobody
Right.
wants to spend that much time on that area.
Mhm.
So in case of the technological decision, I always see when we are starting a new product, definitely go for the where the ecosystem is mature, and
Mhm.
what our team knows better.
All right. Okay.
And in case of the product, when we are building the product, I have learned a lot of things because after having a lot of failures, because
Right.
in the past also, we have created two products, it did not
Mhm.
work out. In that journey, we have learned that it's a iterative process. We have
Right.
to gradually keep on improving and understand the user's feedback, and move the product accordingly.
Right. Customer is God.
Correct.
Yes. Uh, so what's your take on, technology currently impacting businesses? Let's say with AI technology that's in the market. What's your take on the impact it'll have on businesses and it has had as of now on businesses?
So see, AI is definitely going to help us, right?
Right.
Anyhow, definitely, some of the jobs might get impacted, but
Hmm.
anyhow, so basically, it is not going to lose the job. Nobody is going to lose the job. Definitely, they might have to change the career. So currently, if
Right.
someone is, working on something, and
Hmm.
because of the AI, if not 10 people are needed and only two people are needed, but anyhow, the another eight openings for the another opportunity is going to open, because
Right.
it is not that AI is going to replace the jobs, but I think
Hmm.
the area will be little bit different, where we might have
Right.
to learn and understand little bit.
And as a tech leader, what do you believe should be, the factors you need to keep in mind while adopting AI in your business? Since,
So
I
see,
mean, it is a
currently,
slippery slope.
sorry.
It is a slippery slope to rely on, AI. So what are the factors you like to keep in mind when you're, deciding that, hey, I'm going to use this AI technology for a particular part of my business?
So important part, the current problem right now here is like everyone is, creating something with AI. But
Mhm.
the main area we need to understand that there is a real business use case is there or not.
Right.
Because let's say if I'm creating something with AI for my customer, right?
Mhm.
But does that really make sense for the end users?
Right.
So that is the first question. I think we need to answer that first.
Mhm.
That whatever we are making, because that everyone is talking about AI, everyone wants to create something with the AI. But
Right.
the important part is the end user needs it or not. And
Mhm.
whatever that we are providing, do they really need it? If answer is yes, if they are solving the problem, definitely it's a good choice. We should do it.
Mhm.
But we have to, before start implementation of the AI, we need to understand the problem, and accordingly we
Right.
need to look, okay, what are the AI solutions available for that problem? And
Right.
if we can solve that problem with the AI, definitely we should do it.
Mhm. All right. So you've been an entrepreneur and you've really mapped the whole journey for us today. What advice would you have for, someone who has the aspiration to be an entrepreneur? What advice would you have for them as they are in the early stages of their career?
So I would say don't limit yourself. That is my
Mhm.
always suggestions to all the juniors that because whatever, let's say, you are doing or learning, right, that is
Right.
going to help you in the longer run. So don't
Mhm.
limit yourself. Just explore everything. Definitely, I'm not going to say that okay, you do everything, do one thing, but keep your eyes and ears open. That okay, if something is happening on the marketing, at least you should know that okay what they are doing. Have a
Right.
little, if so, more curiosity, if you keep it, that it
Mhm.
will help gradually in a longer run. Because
Right.
the one thing that if they don't limit and try to learn a lot of new things in all the areas,
Mhm.
it would definitely gonna help.
Right. And what kind of advice would you have for, aspiring engineers, people, individuals who want to become engineers? What advice would you have for them as they start their career in engineering?
So important part, if I have to give advice to engineers, right, I
Hmm.
would say to them that okay, don't focus on a simple language or a technology or tools. That okay, I
Right.
want to, because many people are, if the trend is for a specific technology, people start, everyone wants to join that tech. So
Right.
don't focus on the tools or technology or a language. Focus on the
Hmm.
problem solving. If you are good
Right.
at it, you can survive or get a better opportunity in any language
Hmm.
or a tools.
All right. That's some great advice. So now we'll move towards the questions of the audience.
Yeah,
So I'll
sure.
just pull up a few questions. Uh, just a second. I could, Anjum, I could see the questions. Yep. So I believe one of the questions I saw, I think my page isn't reloaded currently. So one of the questions I saw was what what were your biggest failures going forward, and how did you find the motivation to adapt and really grow your businesses through that?
So biggest failure is in technical side. I had a many biggest failures when I was working at as a job. But in the business side, my biggest failure was we did not. The biggest failure was like I did not look at the numbers, the
All
revenue,
right.
sales, and all that. So that was the biggest
Mhm.
failure because at the end of the year, we got to know that we were in the loss.
Mhm.
So that was the biggest, and now we are, following the numbers. And I would
Right.
say if someone is starting, definitely they should focus on it.
All right. So we have a question from Ganta who said, when will the fresher hiring cope up in software? So I guess Ganta wants to know when some freshers can expect companies to start hiring, and if you have any insights for Ganta.
So I also don't know. The market is little bit slow right now. Everyone knows
Yes.
about it. But
Hmm.
as I've been talking with many people and reading about the things on the magazines and stuff and all that,
Hmm.
so I hope the things will get better from the October. So
Right.
till September, we feel still the slowness will continue till September. Yeah.
All right. And we have another question. I did not get a name with it. Most of the developers aspire to be a CTO one day. Uh, what, according to you, is a major reason that lacks in their vision that they don't make it? Like, what kind of perspective do they lack so that they not make it to the level of a CTO?
So the important part, I look into it like when we are talking about the CTO or anything, right? The important part is whatever you are working on, how deep you go into that technology, you
Right.
know, how advanced you look into it. So it
Hmm.
is not up to that anyone can reach a CTO. That's not a. It's just a title. It's
Right.
not a big deal. The
Hmm.
important part is when whatever we are working on, we need to understand those things in much more details, in depth.
Hmm.
So if you are following that, definitely gradually you will be much mature on a technical side or technology side. And the basically I would say the position does not usually make any difference. The important if you're a tech lead or
Hmm.
the solution architect, it's all are same. Important is
Hmm.
we just need to focus on the depth.
Right. And what is your advice to emerging CTOs who are in the initial stages of their product development?
So CTOs who are emerging, right? I would say definitely we have to be very, conscious about the tools and technologies or the architecture we define. But
Hmm.
important part, the end journey, we need to always, think about the deliverables and the end customers. That is very
Right.
important to keep in mind.
Mhm. All right. I think that's all of the questions we have. It was a great conversation, Krunal, and thank you for giving us the time today and imparting wisdom to our audience. Um, Lovely having you over, and we hope we can have another session soon.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
Uh, can you guys hear me?